Earlier, you had mentioned how a lot of founders give you a call when they're creating a company. One of the craziest stories you tell in the book is that Dario Amodei gave you a call in the early years of Anthropic. So when you analyze their governance structure, are they implementing things in a better way?
I think so. Of course, I played a role in doing it, so of course I think it's great. For the record, okay, like people misunderstand this all the time. I am not taking credit for Anthropic's success. Okay, all credit to Dario and that exceptional team for all that they have done. They are crushing it, amazing. Okay, well done. Nor am I saying that they are perfect and have never made a mistake. I can tell you some mistakes. Okay, no problem. But I think it's really important to understand that what makes them different, and I've been called by a lot of companies over the years, they were already, like I met them right after they had left OpenAI. Okay, so they were still smarting from that whole split. They were still trying to figure out what the seed rounds, they were trying to figure out what is our very first investment going to be, what should the team be? And they were very concerned with their ethos of AI safety. And say what you will about that, whether they have it right or wrong, they sincerely believe it, and they have really put it, their actions speak louder than words, as my father used to say, right? Like they have put their money where their mouth is, and they have shown that commitment over and over again. So to me, they said, look, we want to make sure that we are going to be able to protect this ethos. They didn't use that word, but that's the word I would use for it. Protect it as we scale. They understood that this was going to be a multi-trillion-dollar company or more if it worked, which meant that the temptation to steal the technology, to use it for some evil purpose was going to be immense, and they needed the tools to resist. Now, they were very lucky. They had aligned investors who were on board, or so it seemed. And we talked about this exact structure, the need for a mission lock vehicle. Now, to do that required them to defend this idea for 2 years as they raised their Series A, Series B, and I think it was in the Series C, they finally enacted what they call the long-term benefit trust. The LTBT is the formal mechanism to have these trustees who are AI safety experts who are able to appoint directors to the for-profit board, and it's a very complicated thing, but as the company achieves milestones, the trust gains in power, so it's able to appoint more and more seats. It's a very clever solution to a very serious problem. And if you've ever wondered, how come Anthropic just seems like a little bit more courageous than the other AI companies? Now you know why. It's not just Dario personally. I mean, after all, he's a first-time founder, technical founder. He's great. I love him a lot. I love him to death, but this is his first rodeo. Most founders who are doing it for the first time, when the stakes get high, chicken out because they don't have the appropriate protections to support their conviction. And, I think the difference, partly is about Dario's character. I admire him greatly, but part of it is about the proper structure that Anthropic has surrounded him with.
I've been building a lot of AI products lately. My job search OS has 16 different agents. My newsletter has a recommendation engine, and I kept running into the same problem. I'd ship something, it would work in my testing, and then I'd get messages from users saying it's hallucinating or picking the wrong tool. The issue wasn't the prompts or the tools, it was that I wasn't actually evaluating anything. I didn't have a way to see what my agent was actually doing step by step. Every tool call, every decision. That's where a Ries comes in. Let me show you. I'm going to open Claude Code and install a Ries with just one command. npx skills, add a Ries AI, a Ries skills, skill yes. Now Claude Code already knows how to instrument my agent. I tell it set up tracing to a Ries, and it automatically analyzes my code base, figures out where the LLM and tool calls are, and adds instrumentation automatically. Now I can see everything, every trace, every span, every decision. And more importantly, I can evaluate it. That's the shift. Trace what's happening, evaluate where it fails, then fix it. This trace right here, my resume feedback agent was supposed to pull the company's tech stack from the job posting, but instead it hallucinated that they use React when the posting said Python. I never would have caught that without seeing the trace. And here's the part that blew my mind. I asked Claude Code to look at these traces and tell me what I should be evaluating. It came back with 4 eval criteria I hadn't written, things like picking the right tool and staying grounded in the input. I wrote the evals, ran them, and found that my agent was making the same kind of mistake about 12% of the time. Claude pushed to fix, I reran the evals, and it dropped to under 2%. That whole loop, trace, evaluate, fix, took me about 20 minutes, and now it runs automatically. If you're building AI products and not evaluating them, you're shipping blind. Try a Ries free at arise.com and get a year free, a $1,260 value with my bundle, Arise. Check it out. It's one of the top AI evals platforms used by all of the top AI teams for for a reason. I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.